Hello, lovely people. Welcome to Ari Talks About Music. I'm Ari, and today I'll be reviewing the new Deafheaven album, Lonely People with Power. Lonely People with Power is the sixth album from the American post-metal band Deafheaven, and they're a band who, since their 2013 album Sunbather, have released a handful of albums, but none of which are really quite to the level of quality that we know they're clearly capable of. However, this new album, Lonely People with Power, is absolutely a return to form, and really shows off what they're capable of, which was showcased also very well on Sunbather. Doberman is the first full song on the album and opens with this absolutely beautiful and even devastating riff, which then is only further enhanced by the vocals as well. And just the general atmosphere created on this track is absolutely phenomenal, just considering how aggressive and gritty it is. And I really love the way the guitar tones just change a little bit as the song progresses, having these short instrumental breaks where the guitars really just show off how they can absolutely cry. Magnolia is a much simpler, much more straightforward metal song, having much less of an emphasis on atmosphere. However, don't let that make you think that this song isn't just as devastating as the previous one, but just packaged as a much shorter track. The guitar playing is still absolutely top notch, and the drums are just pounding for the entire runtime of the track. The Garden Route comes in with a much softer intro, with the much softer drumming and guitar playing definitely creating some anticipation. And then the aggressive vocals layered with the much softer instrumentation just almost acts as a prelude for what's about to come, before the song eventually just goes full-blown post-metal, blackgaze, death metal, whatever you want to call it. The constant dipping in and out of aggression and softness is actually one of my favourite elements of this song, as it still provides you with nice little moments where you can breathe, but always rewarding you in the end, and still giving you so much aggression that is still extremely satisfying to hear. And then Heathen, once again, just has a very soft intro, but absolutely explodes for the chorus, and then just does a great job at balancing those two sides throughout the entire song. Amethyst really shows off a lot of beauty in its intro, and just starts to build absolutely perfectly, and really just lets you know the direction it's going in as the track progresses. And some of the heaviest moments on this track are just some of the best and most emotive on the entire album, with every instrument being pretty much at its absolute peak. Incidental 2 is definitely a much needed interlude after such raw and uncut intensity. However, I think that for an interlude, 4 minutes is just a little bit too long, and as much as it's definitely needed to have a breather, by the time I'm about halfway through, I'm just ready to hear the next song, which is still an entire 2 minutes away. However, luckily, Revelator gets straight back to the point, just in such a noisy and chaotic way, and definitely being one of the most frantic songs on the album. The entire first half of this track absolutely does not hold back, and then the second half of the track really just shows off this amazing sense of structure, and really just knows when the chaos needs to stop, and when it needs to go for something a bit more melodic. Body Behavior, once again, just has such a grand feeling to this song, with the soaring guitars just making it feel so theatrical. And many of the guitar riffs that are featured on this track are also just some of the most dynamic on the entire album. Winona has this really nice intro with this very soft and almost ethereal quality to it, and then the isolated and extremely heavy guitar coming in so suddenly sounds absolutely amazing. And once again, this track just showcases such an amazing atmosphere that despite all of the aggression and all of that, there is still absolutely such a beauty to it. And then the slightly softer and almost shoegaze-leaning quality of the Marvelous Orange Tree just rounds up the album really well. Like I said, with a much more shoegaze-leaning sound to it, but also, of course, mixing in all the elements of black metal and post-metal and all of that as well. And so overall, listening to this album is definitely one hell of a journey, with so many amazing highs and lows, and of course, a consistently gorgeous atmosphere for pretty much the entire runtime of the album. It's definitely amazing to see that Deafheaven have absolutely still got it, and can still make albums that, in my opinion, are not only just as good, but actually even better than Sunbather, and I can easily say that this is my favourite Deafheaven album so far, with just the massive selection of influences and the amazing mixing and the production as well, that just does an amazing job at incorporating slight elements of shoegaze that are very subtle but definitely there when you're looking out for them. And so with all of that being said, I'm going to give this album a 9 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching this review. Please be sure to listen to this album yourself and tell me your thoughts below. Please leave a like if you liked the video, and please leave a dislike if you didn't like the video, and remember to stay hydrated.